Dominic Richard Thompson writes about wealth, power, and the financial system that shapes the world, and how elite print their wealth. He explains complex economic ideas in a simple and engaging way for everyday readers. About the book, How the Elite Print Their Wealth explores how wealth is created, expanded, and preserved by individuals who understand financial systems beyond basic earning and saving. The book does not promise shortcuts. It focuses on awareness, structure, and long-term financial thinking. Chapter 1. From Earning to Ownership. Most people experience money through effort. They wake up, go to work, complete tasks, and receive a paycheck in return. This cycle feels stable because it is familiar and socially accepted. But the book draws attention to a deeper issue. Income based only on effort has a natural limit time. A person can only work a certain number of hours in a day. This creates a ceiling on earning potential. Wealthy individuals approach money differently. Instead of focusing only on income, they focus on ownership. Ownership means controlling assets that continue generating value independently of daily effort. These assets can include businesses that operate beyond the owner's time, investments that grow in value, real estate that produces rental income, intellectual property that earns royalties or licensing fees. The key distinction is continuity. A salary stops when work stops. An asset can continue producing income without constant input. This creates two financial paths. Active income, time-based. 2. Passive or system-based income, ownership-based. The book emphasizes that financial struggle often comes from relying exclusively on the first path. Another major idea in this chapter is perception versus reality. Many people appear financially successful through consumption, visible lifestyle, luxury, goods, and status symbols. However, these often do not represent actual financial stability. Real wealth is not what is displayed. It is what is owned. The chapter also introduces inflation as a silent force. While income may rise slowly, the cost of living often rises faster. This reduces the value of idle money over time. Because of this, wealthy individuals avoid leaving money inactive. Instead, they position capital into systems that grow. The core takeaway is clear. Financial transformation begins when a person stops thinking only about earning and starts thinking about owning. Chapter 2. How money operates in modern systems. Money is not static. It flows through structured systems involving banking, credit, investment, markets, and financial institutions. The book highlights that understanding these systems creates advantage. One of the most important mechanisms discussed is leverage. Leverage allows individuals to control larger assets or outcomes using limited personal capital. It appears in several forms: borrowed capital, debt, business scaling, investor funding, institutional financing. However, leverage is neutral. It depends on usage. Used incorrectly, it creates pressure and financial risk. Used correctly, it accelerates growth and asset acquisition. A key distinction is made between two types of debt: consumption debt and productive debt. The wealthy do not avoid debt entirely. Instead, they structure it around returns. The chapter also explains that financial systems reward understanding more than effort alone. Those who understand cash flow, credit structure, and asset behavior often gain advantages that are not obvious at surface level. A major idea reinforced here is, money is not only earned, it is directed. Chapter 3. Mindset, behavior, and financial outcomes. Financial outcomes are strongly influenced by decision-making patterns. Most individuals are conditioned to prioritize security over risk, comfort over uncertainty, short-term satisfaction over long-term growth. While this feels safe, it often limits financial expansion. Wealth-building behavior requires a different approach. It involves delayed gratification, controlled risk-taking, consistency over emotion, long-term thinking. The book emphasizes that emotional reactions often lead to financial mistakes. Fear can prevent investment opportunities. Impatience can interrupt compounding growth. Comparison can lead to unnecessary spending. Another key concept is identity-based behavior. People tend to make financial decisions that align with how they see themselves. If someone identifies as not financially capable, their actions often reflect that belief. When identity shifts toward ownership thinking, decisions begin to change automatically over time. The book suggests that financial transformation is not only external, it begins internally through thinking patterns and repeated behavior. Chapter 4. Networks and Information Flow. Financial opportunity is rarely distributed evenly. It often moves through relationships and networks. The book explains that access to information, opportunity, and capital is frequently influenced by professional connections, mentorship relationships, business environments, and social and economic circles. This creates a compounding effect. People surrounded by financially aware individuals are more likely to learn strategies earlier, access opportunities faster, understand systems more deeply. In contrast, environments lacking financial awareness can reinforce limitations without direct instruction. The book emphasizes that proximity matters because knowledge is often shared informally, not through formal systems. This makes environment a silent but powerful factor in financial development. A key idea is information is not evenly distributed, and that creates opportunity gaps. Chapter 5. Assets, Cash Flow, and Structural Wealth. A central theme in the book is the importance of cash flow. Wealth is not defined only by money held, but by money movement. Assets are described as structures that generate ongoing financial returns. These include businesses, real estate, investments, intellectual property, scalable systems. The key difference lies in function. Savings preserve money. Assets grow money. The book emphasizes that long-term financial stability depends on positioning capital into systems that generate returns over time. It also highlights inflation as a long-term pressure on inactive money. If capital is not deployed, effectively its purchasing power decreases over time. Therefore, financial strategy is not only about earning, it is about placement. Where money is positioned determines how it behaves over time. Chapter 6. Consumption culture versus ownership culture. Modern financial behavior is heavily influenced by consumption culture. Many individuals associate success with visible symbols such as luxury goods, high-status purchases, lifestyle display. However, the book separates appearance from structure. Appearance-based wealth focuses on looking successful. Structure-based wealth focuses on building systems that generate income. Consumption provides short-term satisfaction but does not create financial independence. Ownership, on the other hand, builds long-term stability. The book warns that high income without asset building can still lead to financial pressure due to lifestyle inflation. A key idea is spending does not build wealth, structure does. Chapter 7. Multiple income systems. Relying on a single income source creates financial vulnerability. The book emphasizes the importance of building multiple income streams such as business, income, investment returns, dividends, royalties or licensing, and digital or scalable systems. This diversification reduces dependency on time-based labor. The goal is not just earning more, but reducing reliance on one financial source. Over time, this creates flexibility and stability. The shift is from working for income to building systems that generate income. Chapter 8. Decision-making and financial leadership. Financial growth is closely linked to decision-making ability. The book highlights that financially successful individuals tend to act decisively under uncertainty, evaluate risk logically, stay calm under pressure, take responsibility for outcomes. Indecision is framed as a hidden cost in financial progress. Opportunities often require timing. Delayed decisions can result in missed outcomes. Leadership in this context is internal, the ability to control emotion, direction, and financial choices consistently. Final conclusion. The core message of How the Elite Print Their Wealth is that wealth is not only created through effort, but through understanding systems, behavior, and ownership structures. Across all themes, three consistent shifts appear. From earning to owning, from consumption to asset building, from short-term thinking to long-term strategy. The book ultimately presents wealth as a structured outcome rather than a random event. Financial freedom is not defined only by income level, but by control over time, decisions, and financial systems. The final insight is simple. Those who understand how money works do not just earn it. They learn how to position it, grow it, and structure it over time. Don't forget to subscribe our channel and comment, which should be the next book.